Yeah, no, but
Okay.
okay.
Hello, sir. So we know each other very well, and for this kind of interview again, we meet again for the topic regarding the AI and the innovations. So
Yeah.
please tell me about yourself a little bit for those who never watched this kind of webinar before from the IMU University. So can you please make a little bit introduce your name and yeah, your what you are doing recently?
Thanks, Ken. And it's a real delight to be back chatting with you. I have always admired your work, and I think what you're doing, what the IMU team are doing, and what you are bringing to that is exceptional. So my name is Allan Gatenby, and I am now a internationally accredited career life design and leadership coach, and formerly a school principal and educational consultant here in New
Mhm.
South Wales, Australia. Um, I was born of a farming family and became a teacher as a way of being able to develop a career, I guess. And it's been a remarkable journey. And but since 2009, and I've been working with a as a private consultant coach, and I've taught in universities as well as been very much involved with the Asia Pacific Career Development Association, of which I am the immediate past president. So my background is quite varied, Ken, but have to say I'm really excited about AI and what we now can do. So to share some of the thoughts here tonight is a
Mhm.
real honor. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. It's amazing about your journeys, and yeah, so you always been my mentors and you have a lot of inspiration, yeah, across the APAC regions. I could see your activities, yeah, on the LinkedIn and any other platform that you've been working on. So that's
Yeah.
the my first feedback. So without further ado, allow me to ask you the question about AIs and innovation. As we all know that these days, every industries move by, I would say, move by the AIs. So we all know that we have a lot of conversation, discussions, and webinar regarding the AIs on the top level, on the strategy levels, and very high level of thinking. But today, we want to make it more pragmatic.
Hmm.
It sounds it sounds like our daily situation that how we gonna use and yeah in the practical way of doing. So okay, my question is it's to be very directly. When do you use AIs? Like a daily or it sounds like more frequency that I want to know your usage of AI.
Um, can I have to say that I would use AI almost daily,
Oh.
and I've become a great fan of AI for a
Mhm,
number of reasons.
mhm,
Um, but I use it both personally,
mhm,
particularly as a research tool, but also as a communication tool and a planning tool.
mhm,
But its greatest impact has been in the area of, the professional work that I do, and particularly I get called upon to do a lot of presentations. It may be, a presentation to some students or to some colleagues or whatever. So what I have found is that AI has been incredibly helpful to be able to speed up the process of developing a high quality presentation. It's not that AI is doing it for me. AI is a tool that I'm using to get to the quality that I want. So what I have been working at is to develop, um, to, if you like, train the AI to
mhm,
my style of expression, my style of thinking, um, so that it's sort of like become a companion. I'm also writing a book,
Yeah.
and I at my age, obviously, it would take me years to write a book that I've done. But with the help of AI, then what I'm able to do is to generate some possibilities. I'm able to get feedback on what I'm actually doing, and some of that feedback is quite profound in terms of saying, perhaps your sentences are very long here, or whatever. So what I'm really saying is that AI has brought a much more quality to the work that I am able to do, because when we were doing everything manually, the brain thinks faster than the hands can work.
Sure.
And I do meditate quite a bit, and so after I meditate, then I can often just punch in some prompts, and then to see those thoughts coming back in a more coherent way and to integrate and so on. An incredibly liberating tool. And yeah, so I've become a great fan.
Okay, yeah, that's explained a lot. Yeah, about the AI and what you use. So my follow-up question with that. So you explain some of the plays that you use, most of the plays for your career or some of the academic research. But I just want to know the specific area which is your favorite part.
Yeah. So are you asking me which platform do I prefer?
It seems like where do you use your AI mostly as your favorite, something like that? Yeah.
Yeah. 90% would be work related.
Okay.
And profession related. As a coach also, AI is an incredible tool to help me synthesize a lot of information, quickly. So I can get to the core issues very, very quickly by using AI. Now, that does raise some ethical questions, which I'll come to later. But I'd say 90% of what I'm using it for is to enable me to be a better coach, presenter, professional. Yeah.
Yeah. So it sounds like it's really empowering your career as well.
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm of an age where, I grew up in a house with no electricity, so no computers, no TVs. We did everything manually. Yeah. And then we got electricity, and it was like the world changed radically. I was a young principal of a school when I was handed a mobile telephone. It was like a brick. It was a Nokia that had a fixed antenna. You could only make telephone calls, and that was also a real step forward and convenience in life. I think AI has propelled us way, way into a different realm of quality thinking and planning and analyzing, and therefore a different quality of responses that we can make to the challenges and the questions which are in front of us and we need to deal with.
Yes. Thank you, sir. So
yeah. Yeah, and as Einstein said, you can't solve a problem with the same thinking that created it.
Yeah.
So, the human brain is an amazing tool. But when you enable the human brain to be able to access at nanosecond speed a range and depth of information, it sort of takes you beyond imagination very, very quickly, and that's a great thing, because then we can look at the different orientations with greater sensitivity, and I think with greater humanity.
Yeah, yeah. I really like that. Yeah, that you explain about the orientation of it's like it seems like you will have the different perspective of the case. If you use the AI, it's more than two or three perspective. You can have like a whole holistic view of the whole issue, and you could see the more possibility when
Yeah,
finding the solution or yeah, something like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
In some of my presentations, I talk
Yeah.
about the difference between your point of view and your viewing point.
Hmm.
What you see is not how you see something is not your point of view, but where you are standing. AI enables us to go infinitely further, and therefore we must be better able to get the differing
Yeah.
perspectives which are needed if we are going to come to a better understanding and increase the benefits for humanity.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we have so many point of view as you mentioned, and I just want to narrow it down for the three reasons why you use AI. As you mentioned that you have a career, you have a research, and so many things. But if you have to use and you have to set a priority, and there are three top three reasons that you use the AI. What would that be?
I think one of those three things
Mhm.
would be speed. The rate at which you can collect information, synthesize information, get
Mhm.
different orientations and different permutations.
Mhm.
Um, so the speed at which you can do that is
Yeah.
certainly one of the top things. Um, I think another one of those three top things would be the depth and diversity
Mhm.
of insight which can be so quickly generated. You see, it's not AI drives us; we drive AI.
Mhm.
So the questions we're asking and the processing that we're doing inside the human brain is what ultimately will determine. AI works to an algorithm. It's working on the past, but it's working incredibly efficiently to bring that insight into the present. It's not predictive. It won't tell me what can we'll be doing in 5 years from now. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, but it's an incredibly powerful and tool to collect diversity and to learn from the diversity and the different orientations. The third thing is the practicality of it. The simplicity to the complex.
Yeah.
Nothing, nothing is beyond the scope of what AI can help you with. So, a simple matter of planning a trip somewhere, um, through to a complicated thesis that you might be writing. Like, the book I'm writing is on, titled "The Best Is Yet to Come." So I'm been looking to reflective journal. So I've reflected on my own life and the things that my innate abilities, what I then call the things which have shaped me and the people who have influenced me, and how that has led to the quality of life that I have. Um, Implication of that is very big for teachers and parents.
Mhm.
So, you know, AI, and particularly because I use Claude as a platform,
Yeah.
um, I find Claude now sort of understands, if you like. We've just sort of developed a buddy relationship, if in a sense, in terms of saying, this is what I'm after, and this is how what I'm looking for, and we have a conversation where I'm throwing in ideas, he's throwing, Claude is throwing back ideas, and so it's a really collaborative effort,
Mhm.
and the benefits are there. Yeah,
Yes, I understand. So as since you mentioned about the cloud AI, so I think yeah, we also agree on that kind of that topic. As a
yeah,
high-tech entrepreneurship, that's a major I'm learning. So most of my classmates they've been using cloud too much rather than other tools like ChatGPTs and the Gemini. We
yeah,
use a lot of cloud because it has so many varieties of efficiency, I would say. So
yeah.
yeah, could you please tell me why do you like the cloud? I mean, because you recently use this kind of yeah tools.
Essentially, Ken, I'm in education. I'm
Mhm.
in people development and education and learning.
Mhm.
And the algorithm which drives Claude seems to have a more human element to it.
Mm.
So it was recommended to me, and I was using Chat.
Mhm.
Um, and then one of my colleagues suggested I try Claude, and I did, and I felt it actually gave me better social commentary.
Mm.
Yeah. So look, no doubt there are many other
Yeah.
similar platforms, and I
Mhm.
guess we tend to use that which we know and we feel comfortable with. It's like wearing a pair of jeans or a pair of favorite shoes, isn't it? Once you wear them in and you get comfortable in them, you tend to wear them a lot. Yeah,
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. And also uh, about the LLM, so large language model. If you train a lot, it's efficient a lot with you. And yeah, it know a lot about you and it will give you the result, the outcome that they can generate it
yeah,
you more personalized way. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And and that's important for me because I'm using this to improve the quality of what I want to be able to say and how I can say it.
Wow. That's a great thing.
Yeah.
Sounds like you really enjoy using this kind of cloud AI. So yeah, it's really helped you a lot. And
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
I find it helpful, yeah, for
sure.
sure.
So based on that, could you please give me one of the example that how you use the prompt and like a change of the prompt, for example, in one scenario that you really favorite or that you really preference about it? Maybe just
Yeah,
key change of the prompt that you try to use. Yeah.
yeah. The very first thing I do, Ken, is
Mhm.
given a topic. For
Mhm.
example, I was sent a request last week if I could do a 90-minute presentation on
Mhm.
um, contemporary counselling as
Mhm.
opposed to traditional contemporary career counselling. The organisers of the event wanted me to speak to a few things. So what I did then for myself,
Mhm.
first step is always I write an abstract or an executive summary.
Oh. Mhm.
These are the things that I want to cover.
Mhm.
These are the things that I think are involved.
Mhm.
And then so that's a short abstract, so maybe 250, 300 words.
Mhm.
And then I put that into Claude, and
Mhm.
then I see what comes back.
Mhm.
And then that starts the process of a
Yeah.
conversation, a collaboration where we refine. So there will be different things that Claude will raise. And I thought, oh, I hadn't really thought about that. Or maybe we should develop that a little bit further. Or I wonder if the implications of that, for example, the
Mhm.
request last week was to specifically talk about social cognitive career theory
Mhm.
um, and and life design and
Mhm.
the influence on life design thinking on career choice.
Mhm.
Now I know that they are two very powerful and contemporary approaches,
Mhm.
but choice theory and mindset theory are also important dimensions of the same. If we are to better understand the life and human experience, and we also need to, there's merit in looking at these different approaches.
Mhm.
So even though Claude had picked up keywords in the topic and my abstract, it had not considered the possibility of looking at some other approaches. So when I was reading, I'm thinking there's things that here are missing.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I then put that into the chat
Mhm.
and into the discussion with Claude, and back came a whole range of other possibilities. Um, so so it's from an abstract, we begin a conversation. The
Mhm.
conversation is around how we can refine. It's largely what are we doing well, what are we missing. um, I personally then always have have I put in there, well, okay, based on this, if we're running with this sort of presentation,
Mhm.
um, what would be some challenging questions that I could put to
Mhm.
the audience? to engage them,
Mhm.
what might be some further readings. So, I can generate some things from which I can select.
Mhm.
And then so we agree on a what looks like a final draft,
Mhm.
and then I ask Claude to produce a PowerPoint presentation for me,
Mm.
which it does. So
Yeah.
then I take that PowerPoint presentation and then I personalize it.
Mhm.
So I go back into that and I will change some wordings. I will, input some questions, some anecdotes, some personal stories,
Mm.
and to make it more human, to make it
Yes,
more life.
please.
So,
Sure.
so Claude has helped me to get to that point
Mhm.
um, within a few hours, where it would have
Wow.
taken me many days before.
Sure, sure.
And
Yeah.
and I don't think I would have got the same quality, even though in
Yeah.
that. So, that's the power of being able to work with AI.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, yes, that's 100% true about that. So it sounds like you are augmenting like AIs and your own original intelligence, right? So it's, as a result, you got is a really amazing performance that, and also that make you really confident, and that make you I mean in terms of confidence, like you got the result that you really wanted, and you really enjoy this kind of thing because it's not just generated by the test, because you put a lot of effort and then you expected that you got what you expected. It sounds like that.
Yes, look,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we should hand over the responsibility of
Mm.
our own experience and our own insight.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think we should hand that over to AI. I think what we need to
Mm-hmm.
do is to see AI as a tool which can help us get greater clarity
Mm-hmm.
and to produce higher quality interaction
Yeah.
based on your experience, your insight, and your orientations, and so on. Yeah. So,
Yes.
so importantly, I think from a academic and from a human perspective, a professional perspective, I think it's very important that we retain control of
Mhm.
the process, not letting the process control us.
Yeah.
You know, and that for me is a big difference. And that also helps me with one of the ethical issues, and that
Mhm.
is, to what extent am I relying on AI
Mm.
to provide, to develop and provide the input in it. By adopting this approach, I
Mhm.
feel I'm retaining control, and the end product is is authentically based on my experience, my insight, augmented or supplemented by the best that research can offer.
Wow. Yeah. That's amazing. So it's really helpful for the educator, and also at the same time for the student at the same time. Right? That's how I feel
Yeah,
that after hearing your answer. Thank you
yeah,
so much for sharing
yeah,
this kind of thing.
of
So
course.
yeah, my follow-up next question would be like so we are talking about a lot about the positive impact, right? So what would that be any challenge I mean personally, because every user have a different perspective for their own usage, right? So I just want to know your personal challenge that when using the AI.
Um, it's a great question, Ken, and
Hmm.
I guess one of the key things would be
Hmm.
being mindful of the authority of the information that you are working with.
Hmm.
So, AI is not infallible. It
Hmm.
does make mistakes. It does have hallucinations. Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
it's not 100% accurate. So you need to always be checking out that, what's the authority? One of the key questions is, what is the authority that
Mhm.
I am working with here with the help of AI? So, you know, um, is this just social media talk, or does it have some factual basis to it? Yeah.
Mhm.
So the authority of the data that we're working with, I think that's partly, it's always there as a concern for me. Um, AI does have hallucinations,
Mhm.
and you can get some strange responses, and you can see that if you are vigilant and if
Mhm.
you are editing closely, the information that you're getting, then you will see inconsistencies and diversions. And a good example of that was that recently I was preparing a paper for a conference, and I had put into the subject line the theme of the conference, and the theme of the conference was about inclusivity and going beyond the horizons. And when I put that into the AI, then it put I felt a wrong emphasis on the subjects. And so I, said that I think, this is too heavily in there. It's too, too light here. We need to develop that. So, you can get distracted. It can lead you into some cul-de-sacs sometimes. But I think it's worthwhile anyhow. I mean, you would get that if you were reading a book. It's just that we're reading 6 or 7 books in less time than it takes to read one book. So, it's to be mindful of that and not to take that what you have been given by your AI buddy as to be the whole truth. You need to be continuing to question and to check it out against your experience and what you know, and investigate further the things that you're not sure of.
Yes, sir.
I think the other key challenge for me, Ken, and something which has become my motive, is always to personalize the information that is generated through AI. Make it your own, relate it to your own experience. If you cannot relate it to your own experience, then you should not be using it.
Yeah, yes. 100% true, sir. Yeah.
So I think I think they are the safeguards. I guess there are some, the other concern is around the ethical issues, and there's a big debate about that, with particularly in the career development field, where we're taking personal and sensitive information, and we should not be using or not feeding that into an AI tool. Certainly not without the knowledge of your client, but also I think put some anonymity in there. There are ways around it, but we should firstly disclose, and then we should be very transparent about how we're using AI in the delivery of the service that we're being paid to deliver.
Yes, sir. Those are pretty strong facts that we could see. Well, one thing, what you mentioned about the AI hallucinations. So we have just this kind of discussion we recently had. For example, we create one of the discussion in the amongst the student, and then most of the students try to fix together, and then at the end of the day, we try to present it. So it's really funny that because that topic is pretty rare topic, so it seems like a medical solution, but we are not the medical doctors. We are doing about the entrepreneur. But the professor intentionally made this kind of topic, which we are not familiar with. So at the end of the day, all of the students doing the same solution, the same presentation. So because as you mentioned, that is 100% true. Is we need to make it more personalized. We need to make it some of the contextualizations. Only then our result, the outcome would be more practical. It's really helpful for the thing that we try to do. Yes, I agree on that one.
See, Ken, in education, in schools, and to some extent in universities, we've been talking a lot about transformative education. So education is no longer about the transmission of information and passing of fact. Education is more around enabling people to take greater control of their own life. And we know that if you learn from your learning, so in schools particularly, we didn't get our students to experiment near enough with the information and the prototypes or the test their thinking around particularly social issues and environmental issues. We didn't ever push them, didn't encourage them to go far enough with it. Bloom's taxonomy was fabulous in terms of getting to that expression and application stage, but we never really got them to the point to reflect on the experience and to learn from the experience that you've just had. And I think increasingly we can do that. more effectively and more efficiently now.
Yes.
And I think that is where when you start to ask those reflective questions in the transformative stage of learning, that's when you can start to get two different types of personalizing. One is relating it back to your own personhood, but also through the prompts you're using is to understand the implication of the learning that you're taking and that you're just acquiring and asking those critical questions. If that is true, what is next? You know, how can I use it, and how will I do that? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So it's a far more dynamic way to learn, a
Yeah.
far more dynamic way to interact, and a far more effective way to develop communities.
Yes, sir. So last but not least, I just have the last questions. For those AI user, do you have any suggestions?
Yeah, look, firstly, obviously embrace it, you know, but in embracing it, personalize, you know, bring it into your person, bring the tool to you, not allow yourself to be run by the tool. You know, it's a bit like driving a car. When you hop in a car, the car doesn't drive itself, you drive it.
Yeah.
And the responsibility is on the driver to drive safely, to drive well, not to cause harm, not to whatever. It's the same with AI. You know, we need to be responsible. We need to be sensitive. We need to take that personal responsibility for good outcomes, for the benefit of community, the benefit of humans. Remember that AI is not infallible. Yeah. And remember that it's not predictive. You know, it's very efficient in getting past events and past information together for you, but it's not going to predict. So we shouldn't fall into the trap of what we did with, say, psychometrics in psychology. You know, we saw the potential to be able to set up a predictive quality. You know, if we do this, then you know, there's a 98% chance that this is what will happen. You know, AI is not predictive and should never be used that way, but it's a tool to assist with discovery and clarity. And there are some ethical questions. So be mindful and be transparent and being open. You know, it's redefining plagiarism in the academic world, I guess, and how we can do it. But, you know, if there's nothing wrong in using the ideas of other people, it is very wrong to claim those ideas to be your own. And I think that's, you know, a really useful thing to remember.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. It's been a fruitful discussion, sir. So we've been learning a lot from you. So I do believe that our audience and our candidate from the IMU University, the PhD candidate, MBA candidate, they've been really happy to hear this kind of valuable work. And yeah, they've been grateful for your knowledge sharing, sir.
My pleasure, Ken, and all the best.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
So
Take
much,
care,
sir.
mate.
Have a nice day. Yes.
Thanks, Ken. Cheers. Bye for now.